Yes, we are back with another One Leeds video. We are back with another video, and I am truly buzzing. That is one of the... no, screw it, it is. It's the best performance I've seen Leeds have in the Premier League, in terms of the opposition that we came up against, in terms of our quality throughout, in terms of the principles that we stuck to, in terms of the pressing and units, in terms of just everything. Man for man at Leeds were absolutely exceptional. Leeds were the better team. Leeds United, everybody, were dominant against a top three, in my opinion, side. So, I mean, I don't want to delve too much into the tactical aspects of this one, but when you're just looking at the game from, you take a step back, I thought we'd lose this one. I think every Leeds fan thought we'd lose this one, and fair play. If you didn't, you are the eternal optimist, and I respect you dearly. But yeah, I mean, listen, Chelsea have had our number, haven't they? They've scored a number of goals against us as well. It's always been a tricky game for Leeds United, and I was thinking to myself, coming into this season, you're under Jesse Marsch, if we can just establish a little bit of a record against the top 4 to top 6 sides, that is massive in a Premier League campaign, because it galvanises the fans, it galvanises the players, the city, everything. And, coming to Ellen Road, it is a problem. And when you beat a top 6 side, a top 4 side, teams then look at you a little bit differently. You look at Newcastle, you even look at some of the teams in and around the bottom when you're looking at Crystal Palace, that sort of lower bracket of the Premier League. They're always difficult places to go to because they do take scalps. Leeds United haven't taken scalps, but I thought to a man today, Leeds United were exceptional and by far the better team. Not marginally, by far the better team. And it was the most enjoyable performance I've seen in the Premier League. You guys know I will critique Leeds United. I 100% will do that. I'll praise when it's needed, but I will critique. Today, there was no faults. They were exceptional. Every man absolutely ran into the ground for his brother next to him. Over 10.5 kilometres more ran by this Leeds United side than that Chelsea side. They thought they could come to Ellen Road today and technically just play us off the park. They didn't really need to do that additional stuff that Leeds United did. They thought they could just come and with their quality, they could just beat Leeds United quite handedly. Well, that didn't happen, did it? And it was fantastic to watch. Some absolute standouts. Elan Meslier, who once again I feel's gone up a level. Not almost today in terms of just the saving and just being the presence that he is from normally from set pieces, but I think his distribution, I think just in general, his persona, he looks a lot more confident, and I love that. From back to front as well, I thought Christensen was a little bit more impressive with his distribution. Still think there's a lot to work on with him in terms of going forward and getting caught sort of 1v1 with his man. We saw that with Stern a little bit at the start. However, much improved. I thought Robin was fabulous. Again, Diego Llorente put in a really decent performance as well. Pascal Struijk I thought was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The reason I get so upset about Pascal is because I want to see him involved at centre-back, because I think the qualities that he can bring to centre-back are absolutely, it's through the roof in terms of technicalities and in terms of his football IQ. But at left-back today, absolutely exceptional. I don't want to see it long-term, but fantastic. One of the best players. In fact, out the back line, probably him and Robin, the pick of the bunch. Now the double pivot. Let's talk about the double pivot. The double pivot that dominated a dogged a game, really, and that's what they did. They in a game where you had to dig, you had to get in the trenches. That doggedness that Tyler Adams brings, that doggedness that Mark Rocker brings, the double pivot that everybody was saying we're not going to be able to replace Calvin Phillips. That's not going to do it. Calvin Phillips has gone, Rafinha's gone. We're not going to be able to do that. But this double pivot this season, with what I've seen with these two, is more than what we had with Calvin Phillips and what we had with Calvin Phillips in this system. That's not recency bias. I thoroughly believe that splitting those Calvin Phillips attributes into someone like Tyler Adams and into Mark Rocker, who just has a lovely switch on him. There's an argument that Mark Rocker's distribution is as good as Calvin Phillips's was. And then you look at Tyler Adams, who just loves the fight. He loves to be able to get in the opposition's faces. And I absolutely am here for that. I am here for that, everybody. He literally embodies Leeds United. He is that David Batty-esque player in terms of getting on the pitch, roaring up the crowd and winning his individual battles. You come up against Tyler Adams 1v1, he gets in your head. And you saw that with Conor Gallagher. He was winning those individual duels. And once again, arguably the best player on the pitch today again. I thought he was fantastic against Southampton. A little bit, it took him a while to get into the game at Wolves. I was a little bit worried, to be quite honest with you, some of his passing, but he's really growing into this Premier League season and showing that adaptability, that transition into the Premier League is proving seamless for him. Absolutely seamless. I was questioning it at the start because I thought his profile as a DM was a little bit basic. However, it's not. It's really not. He does the basic things, but he also goes forward. And I didn't think really he was gonna have that in his arsenal. I thought he was going to be a little bit of a busybody in midfield, a little bit like Adam Forshaw. But when he was pressed, he was always going to go back. He was always going to go laterally. But he's not that. He's not that at all. He will get the ball, and if he's pressed, he'll go forward as well. He'll try carry the ball. We've seen that in the first 3 games. Absolutely phenomenal today. Mark Rocker getting involved in it, getting involved in every single battle. And we've seen the distribution. We've seen that ability that he has on the ball, but we've not seen enough of it off the ball. Off the ball, he was much better today, much better, as everybody was. And let's talk about the front four, everybody. The front four, mercurial, majestic. Just magic, absolutely magic. The pressing in units. Now, I just couldn't believe how basic Chelsea came out. It seemed like a basic pressing scheme, just absolutely unhinged them. But that's given discredit to Jesse Marsh's team and Leeds United. It wasn't a basic pressing scheme. It was absolutely relentless from Leeds United. What did we see last minute? About 60 minutes worth of pressing. The game before against Wolverhampton Wanderers, the changes really helped Leeds to put that press back into action again for the final 15 to 20 minutes. But the press did stop after the first half. It just continued in this game. It continued. Leeds were absolutely fabulous from moment one, really. Brendan Aronson breaking into space absolutely exceptionally well. And the first goal obviously all came from him. That pressing down, that hunger, that desire to press Leeds from the front. I said when we signed Brendan Aronson, he was going to be that Conor Gallagher-esque players for us in terms of when Gallagher used to initiate the press for Crystal Palace, when Gallagher used to initiate the press for West Bromwich Albion, when Gallagher used to initiate the press for Swansea. That is exactly what Brendan Aronson does. A lovely turn as well in the early stages on Koulibaly, who just couldn't deal with Leeds United today. This massive centre-back who's come in, experienced, played in the Champions League, could not deal with Leeds United today. Couldn't deal with us. And I thought Brendan was absolutely fantastic. The pressing for that first goal, the anticipation for that first goal, just in terms of the fact that he had to adjust his body because he got his leg up in the air trying to block the ball, but then to adjust his body to what Mendy was doing and then to just get the ball, finish it in, and then just slide in front of the Chelsea/Leeds fans in the corner there. Fantastic scenes. Rodrigo, Jesse Marsh was saying afterwards, he's like a player reborn. I am still in that judgment call with Rodrigo because we've seen it with 6 to 7 games before where he has these 6-7 games and he is on and off, really. Now, on the ball, I've always said I think there's serious improvements there, but the technicalities this guy has, the ability, key word there, buzzword, the ability that this guy has is second to none in this Leeds United side. It is elite in this Leeds United side. A wonderful header, wonderful anticipation, again, that buzzword being used, anticipation for Jack Harrison's crossing. Can we also keep Jack Harrison on set pieces? Have you noticed the quality difference when Jack Harrison is on set pieces? Can we keep that up, please? Thank you, Jesse Marsh. Thank you, Leeds United. Fantastic header. Great. What I've loved about this season as well is set pieces we haven't conceded yet, which is fantastic. Very different from last season. But what I'm loving about Rodrigo is every single time there is a set piece, he's running across the front man. The front man being Conor Gallagher here, who didn't even notice him coming along. With the ball in, Jack Harrison, and he guides it in. The pace of the ball off Rodrigo's head culminates in a fantastic finish. Leeds 2-0 up on 37 minutes. Fantastic scenes. And what I love about this is it's winning a game at Ellen Road, winning a game against the top 4/top 6 teams. That is going to elevate Leeds into a stratosphere, which we've not really been part of in previous seasons because Leeds have really struggled against those sides. And I think that really does, as I've said at the start of the video, galvanise the Leeds United fans in particular. We want teams to be coming down to Leeds and thinking, oh, God, I don't want to go to Ellen Road now. And teams are now, after a result like that, going to be thinking that because the Ellen Road atmosphere, together with the press, together with Leeds just playing on that edge, playing on the edge consistently, is going to put the fear of God into teams. That's two home wins now, everybody. We only got 4 wins at home all last season. We've literally halved it. We've halved that win success rate at home already this season. We've played 3 games. So there's a genuine improvement. I love us, as I've said at the start, when it comes to defensive, the defensive stability. I won't say love, as in, it's been a continuous thing, but I've loved what we've done today. We didn't look bothered. What did they do? What a long shot from Reece James. A couple of, like the Raheem Sterling at the start, nearly scored. But aside from that, Leeds were the better team. You know, the XG was 2.66 to 0.78, I think it was, to Chelsea. Dominant in every and we've not seen that. That is why that is my favourite performance of Leeds being back in the Premier League by far, because not only were we dominant, we controlled it. We controlled every ember of that fixture. You came out in the second half and you were thinking the next goal's massive here. The next goal was massive for Leeds United. But yeah, just absolutely fantastic how we're able to control these world-class players that Chelsea have got. Kai Havertz barely got a touch of the ball. Fantastic work by Leeds United centre-backs. But as I said, just that culmination of Ellen Road playing on the edge, that press, that is going to be massive for Leeds United this season. And that's why I have tipped us not to go down. But who knows now? Who knows where we can hit? I will safely say after this one, I don't think there's going to be many calls for a centre-forward. I still think there should be calls for a centre-forward. But Rodrigo is just, I mean, he's on fire at the minute. He's on absolute flames. Fantastic header today, some great link-up play. And do you know what I will say about him as well? When we were going direct, when he was challenging with Thiago Silva and Koulibaly, I'm not sitting there thinking that he's going to be winning the headers against these two. But what I am thinking is, if he gets his body positioning in the way of these fellas, they're going to have to adjust their bodies, and maybe it'll put them off kilter a little bit. Maybe it'll unstabilise them. Maybe the balance will go off kilter a little bit. And that's where Leeds pick up on the second balls. And the second balls today were fantastic by Leeds United. Any time Rodrigo would be able to put his shoulder in, Koulibaly was off balance, there was Brandon Aronson, there was Jack Harrison, there was Dan James. Didn't think Dan James was expert today. I'm never a fan of his on-the-ball stuff, because I think sometimes he's a Ferrari car without a driver. That's what he is. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes that football IQ, he just runs too quick for his brain, I think. But overall, I thought his pressing was absolutely key today for Leeds United. There are going to be some teams who Leeds are going to come up against, and that pressing is absolutely key for what we want to do. And you saw that today. The third goal, another wonderful bit. To be fair to Dan James, floated the ball in. Nice ball in the channel. That is what we need to start doing as well, everybody. Notice the success rate when Leeds were pinging the ball into the channel. It's the intelligence of not having to go long all the time, not having to rely on Rodrigo, Bamford, whoever's going to be playing up top, Joe Gelhardt. But if you want to nip that ball just over the right back and the left back, you turn Chelsea around. As soon as you turn Chelsea around, the ball's either going to go out for a throw-in, back to the keeper. Leeds use that pressing intensity to press the keeper, and we saw the mistake that happens. That's going to happen multiple times, especially with Brendan Aronson leading that press, initiating that press, engaging that press. Fantastic from Leeds United today. I'm over the moon with that. Like Sinisterra's little cameo as well, got involved, won Leeds a lot of free kicks. That's what we were saying against Southampton. You bring Sinisterra on, what's he going to do? He's going to use that body to win Leeds free kicks, buy Leeds a little bit of time, get us further up the pitch through the phases. Fantastic, even cameo from him. Click came on, calmed it down a little bit in the middle as well. And overall, I thought, listen, once again, Jack Harrison, has he been watching these videos? No, of course he hasn't. And I wouldn't expect him to. And if you do, Jack, this relationship that we have, it's definitely a love-hate relationship. You know, you annoy me, and I'll come out and say that. Last season you did, but listen, I'm just a football fan. Football is subjective, and what I will say, sir, is this season you've been absolutely fantastic. 3 games for me where he's been the best player. Rodrigo's been excellent, but Jack Harrison has taken his game to a new level. I don't know if that's a mid-interest from Newcastle, a mid-interest from other clubs. He's saying, look, I'm going to stick my chest out and do what I do. You know, just fantastic. Once again, scoring today, getting an assist. This guy's numbers are going up. He's already got 3 assists this season. He got 1 last season. The step up has been absolutely magnificent. Really, really enjoying watching him this season. He's taken the mantle from Rafinha. Tyler Adams, Mark Rocker have taken the mantle from Calvin Phillips. And I tell you what, everybody, if we are able to sustain those performance levels every single week, Leeds United could do something special this season. Absolutely buzzing, absolutely over the moon. Guys, I'm at work, I am on my break, so thank you for sticking around. Apologies I can't get a live out, but we will be back with the debrief very, very soon. And there will be a video out tomorrow as well. Don't you worry about that, in the AM, where I'll be waxing lyrical about this beautiful club, because I'm on cloud 9 at the minute. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Make sure you slap a like on the video if you are buzzing at today's win. Sun is shining. Get yourself a beer, get yourself a soda, get yourself a coffee, wherever you are in the world. You know, wherever the weather dictates. But Leeds United have won, everybody. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.